I've decided to make this video because I've seen online a lot lately that a lot of people don't want to get into relationships because of getting hurt and almost demonizing relationships. And I fully do understand that it is quite a vulnerable boat to be in. But I do want to offer a fresh perspective because you need to see both sides of the argument, right? So I want to talk you through like the more wholesome moments between my woman and I, and hopefully that gets you to like rethink the whole relationship side of things. So like the first one that comes to mind is goes back about a month or two ago. I went to go see my woman like for a date. And then there was one part of the date where we were just chilling in bed, we were watching TV or something, and she had her head on my chest. And I was like playing with her hair, stroking her head and whatever. And I felt like tears on her face. So I was like, okay, what happened? Like, why is she crying? Did I do something wrong? But then I went and looked at her and she had like this huge smile on her face. So I knew she was like had tears of joy. So I said, hey, what's happening? What you thinking about? And she just told me like with these tears in her eyes that she's so grateful for having me in her life and she's so grateful for the relationship we built up. And then she told me like a few stories about like how this is what she's always wanted and those sort of things. And it was twofold. For me, on one hand, knowing that I've made such a big impact to someone else's life, that sort of feeling you can never replace. But also makes you feel like much happier beyond that in the sense that you feeling love from her as well. And that's the sort of thing that you can only get from a loving relationship. So I'm not saying that every single relationship would be this loving, but I am saying your goal should be to be in one as loving as this. And how you do that is I often talk about in my videos is simply put, work hard on yourself. So develop yourself, develop your like mentality, your mindset, but also develop your communication. For me, communication was a big thing that lacked for me in relationships because I would often like sweep things under the rug and say I like figured things out wrong or whatever went wrong in my mind, it's like they did nothing wrong. But there are cases where your partner would screw up and likewise you would screw up. By you encouraging conversation and when something goes wrong, you speak to them in a nice, calm way, then you are opening that part of the conversation so that when you screw up, they also tell you, hey, you did something wrong the other day, I didn't like it, but here's how we can fix it. For me, jokes aside, like it sounds cliche, but that's been the most important thing I've learned from my relationship. I did a lot of like homework and studying and research and all of that on how to improve relationships before coming to this relationship, and trust me, it has helped me a lot, and I discuss that sort of side of things in other videos as well. But in terms of learning whilst in this very relationship, communication has by far been the thing that I've learned the most. And that's why I often talk about the fact that I've like told her about my anxious attachment style and all of that. You want to be fully vulnerable with your woman, or if you're a woman watching this, with your man, because this is the person you can spend the rest of your life with, and this is the person that you potentially can be growing up children with. So you have to have this open conversation with them because they are as good as your other half, without sounding cheesy and cliche and all of that. Another story that comes to mind is her and I are both university students. And there was a stray cat that was chilling on campus for like 2 or 3 months. And whenever we would go to like this particular pond slash grass patch area, the cat would come to us and like chill on our laps and all of that good stuff. And we kept like leaving it at the end of the university day because, well, you know, it's not our cat sort of thing. But then there was one day it was particularly cold and I came in to chew to someone here. So then I went to go like chill with the cat as I was waiting for my transport to come and pick me up. And then the cat came into my lap and I then gave my girl a call, like we live about 40 minutes away from campus, so it's a bit of a drive. But I gave her a call and said, you know what, this cat really seems to like us. He clearly doesn't have a home. Do you want to take him in? Because she has like 3 other cats at the time, now she has 4. And she said yes, and now it's like become our son because it's a guy cat. And these sort of moments where you have like this cat of your own that you like adopted from campus, all of that, you can only get that sort of fulfillment from a relationship. Like, of course, you can get a similar level of fulfillment from like a really close friend, but I do think everything's slightly more amplified when it's with a woman that you love. So I think this whole demonization of relationships, all of that in this space is got a bit out of hand. Like, I'm not saying all relationships are good, far from it. I would argue that the majority of them aren't. But I do think that once you find a relationship that really fills your soul with love and you can fill her soul with love, that's really going to escalate your like motivation, your drive, your ambition, all of that things. Because in my personal life, I've seen like a 10 to 20% improvement in my like motivation, drive, and just plain confidence even in some aspects ever since I've been with my woman. I can tell you one more story, and I think that will never really nail the point home. So it was last year, we are sitting in May now. So last year, December or like Jan of this year, I can't remember now. But she got her driver's license. So I'm very close to my woman's mom, and my mom and I her mom and I coordinated this thing where we would surprise her and be at like the testing center where she got her license, but we only arrived like halfway through the test, so she doesn't see us. So anyway, she now comes back after the test and sees us there like, oh wow, this guy's a year late. And just seeing the smile on her face, and she got her license by the way that day. But just seeing her smile on her face and how happy she was that day and how much it meant to her to see someone like, or two people that she cares about there waiting for her. I know for a fact, and I could see it, that really filled her with love. And the funny thing is, filling someone else's soul with love fills your own soul with love. Like, you wouldn't think so, but it's like a similar thing. Hey, you can probably relate to this as well. When you compliment someone, they get a confidence boost, but you yourself tend to get a bit of a confidence boost as well. Love works in the same way, but I would argue it's a bit more amplified. So these are the sort of benefits you get out of a relationship, and it's in this way that I get more energy. I have like inspiration to record this YouTube videos, because I am like doing this part-time. I'm a university student as well, and if you check out my like videos on academics, all that, I am performing pretty well as well. And I think all of this is partially attributed to like the love that my woman gives me. Of course, there's other aspects, like I am quite big on self-development and have been for like the past 3 or 4 years. I've always been an ambitious guy, even before self-development. But I do want to emphasize that relationship hasn't taken anything away from that, and if anything, in some circumstances, it has increased my motivation. So it shouldn't be demonized, but rather your lens should be changed to finding a good woman for you. And I will be making a video eventually, might be coming quite soon actually, on what I consider to be like the green flags in women. I've delayed the video a bit though, because that is a bit of a subjective topic, so I will be giving my views. And beyond that, I think it is just a matter of, it sounds a bit trashy, I'm going to say it out, it sounds a bit trashy to make a video like that, but I do think it will be of use to some men. With this said, bro, I'll see you in the next one to become a better man.